time frame for a normal, usual graduation program is at best 3 years. You don't change minds and social norms in 3 years. So we need to find a way to keep on mentoring those families about gender issues and gender equality for a longer time after physical coaches disappear. And thus, that can be done only with digital tools, nudge messages, and that kind of distant intervention, distant mentoring. For many years, for 2, 3, 4, 5 more years, this is the way to go. And it's cheap, by the way.
So what we need to learn more about is whether graduation programs address the fundamental barriers that women face in their economics life and in social and political life more broadly. What does it do to social norms when women manage those funds? Are they empowered, or sometimes does it actually reinforce some of the stereotypes, the traditional social norms that prescribe that women's main role is within the household? We want to know more also about whether women can address and how we can better address some of the broader barriers such as women's access to financial institutions, to banking, women's access to, in many countries there are still laws that prohibit women from undertaking certain activities, and so the point really is that the barriers that hold women back are very broad. With graduation programs address certain issues, but it may not be enough, and we may need to look at other complementary measures or other ways of organizing those programs to promote empowerment more broadly.
The main challenge is that there are a lot of externalities, and also you are also trying to change social norms, and you are also trying to change different circumstances and a context that has been in place for a long time. So you are changing traditions, and also you are changing the mindset not only of the woman itself and the people in her household, but an entire community as well.
And I think one of the challenges in making that happen is the graduation program is largely an individual intervention. It focuses on individual women, but a lot of the factors that influence the ability to transform gender relationships are more societal or communal. So how do you address the societal and communal norms and power structures within a program that often is focused on individual outcomes? And so that could be done through using self-help groups, but finding ways to integrate, to address societal issues or communal issues within a program that is focused on individual outcomes.
The key challenge to making that happen is dealing with entrenched gender norms that may be particularly more difficult in some settings than in other settings. And I would also add that another key challenge, which is much more on the implementation side, is that it does require a lot of investment, not just from the graduation program itself, but also from local communities, policymakers, and other organizations to really fully materialize into some positive change.
One really important challenge to really have a gender transformative graduation program is to allow these programs to work coordinated with other public and private interventions in the same place at the same time. Infrastructure, quality, public services, other complementary private service provision like financial services are key to really get all the benefits of the graduation program transformed into new opportunities for women.
In terms of a key challenge to this would be, I would say, unintentional consequences, which was raised in our discussions just now. Of you can design for one thing, you can be intentional about how you think about gender in one element, but there will always be things that you have not thought about. So I think the key to this would be involve the researchers, keep a close eye on what's going on, and have good feedback loops into how we continue to think about the programming and design of things.
I believe that the key challenge to achieve a gender transformative approach is to introduce in the program design activities for children and adolescents, because we need to incorporate children and adolescents in this process of changing social norms and the expectations of men and women about their future and about the equal opportunities that they should have access to.
The main challenge is that graduation programs are already very complex. They come with a lot of different aspects: health, nutrition, economics, group forming, and everything. Adding yet another component could make them just a bit too heavy, and then the whole kind of carrot house comes down. So I think the challenge is going to be change the way you look at things, but don't add too many activities, because then things could just become too heavy.
One of the challenges in pursuing gender transformation within graduation programming has less to do with the actual implementation, though one could argue that there's many challenges in there. It's also coming to agreement by what we mean by gender transformation and then how we're going to measure that. So sometimes we talk about measuring or assessing gender transformational impact through household decision making.